And now, live in studio, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. He's a successful entrepreneur, published author, top listing agent, a real estate and finance expert that goes to bat for you every day as a consumer advocate. Your host and the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes.
Yes, here we are again, another day committed to picking a fight with the mainstream media and providing you the timely truth centered around real estate, credit, finance, estate planning, tax planning, home services, and so much more. You're listening to the Consumer Quarterback Show. Our number one goals are to educate, entertain, enlighten, but we're going to engage. We want to engage you in an effort to help you win in any marketplace.
The only thing I'm addicted to right now is winning.
Save our hotline number in your phone. At some point, you're going to need it. 813-670-7372.
You used to call me on my cell phone.
813-670-7372.
Here's my number, so call me maybe.
And we want you to bookmark our website, consumerqb.com. You can watch our television version, live stream version from consumerqb.com. Also 10 a.m. WeBeam TV as well. And you can see links to all of our expert contributors. Our expert contributors' contact information is all online at consumerqb.com. You can submit the form as an email form. We'll come directly through, and we'll make sure we get back to you before our head hits the pillow. And it's Intelligent Talk Radio. I've got some intelligent folks here in studio with me today. Back in studio, Brad Blanton, project manager, Suncoast Roofing. Welcome in, sir.
Hey, thanks, Brandon. Glad to be here again.
My pleasure. Thanks for coming in.
Oh, appreciate it. It's been a crazy time since the last time I've been in.
Yeah, man. You guys staying busy?
Oh, we're still reeling from the storm. Still doing storm damage work. Still, getting out there, seeing the results of the high winds and all the rain. We're getting caught up, but it's a slow process.
Yeah, exactly.
And dealing with insurance companies, things like that, things tend to linger on quite a bit.
That's right. We'll give some tips to our consumers out there on how to properly deal with the insurance companies, how to structure your claims, and we'll talk a little bit about that. Also, Fred Muth, design and sales, the Tin Man back in the house, Tampa Screens and Aluminum. Welcome in, sir.
Always a pleasure, Brandon. I enjoy this program. Brad, how can you say you're catching up? If you're catching up and we're not, are we doing something wrong?
I don't know if you're doing anything wrong, but we have quite a bit of resources we can bring in from some other satellite offices and things like that helps us.
That's the key, resources. There you go. I got to talk to Richard about that next week. Richard Pulse owns the company. So, by the way, this is a very bad time to be in business if you don't like to work.
Yeah, that's right.
Things are good. Things are really rocking and rolling out there.
That's right, man. The labor pool is still one of the challenges.
It's always been a challenge, even when things were slow. I mean, we can't just put our hands on enough highly qualified aluminum construction installers, which are sort of a breed of their own. And if there were, I think I made the statement before, if there were 1,500 of them on the west coast of Florida before the storm, there's still 1,500 after the storm. And there's plenty of work. There was plenty of work before the storm. So, I mean, we don't like to, pick and choose guys that have limited quality and limited experience. Myself, our competitors, et cetera, we all like to pick the best guys out there.
Right.
And right now, these guys are just busy, extremely busy, and they're enjoying every minute of it. As a matter of fact, these guys need a financial advisor to tell them what to do with all the money that they're making.
Nice. There you go.
We have one on the show, on the program.
Michael Lysenko, our Safe Money Coach. That's right.
He's got to talk to us.
Of Core Financial, Michael Lysenko, Safe Money Coach. And speaking of that, when you do select a financial advisor, don't just go with the first person you meet at a networking group, or you want to do some research. You want to make sure they are fiduciary. That's a big key term when you think about selecting a financial advisor. They want to make sure they're fiduciary. Check out our book on Amazon. We'd love for you to check out the Become the MVP in Your Industry by Surfing the Radio Waves. Our book on Amazon teaches you how to start your own show. We're kind of following that up with a really cool project that we're working on now as well, nationwide expansion with that, and having some fun here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. And we're giving a shout out to Brio Tuscan Grill, our official restaurant partner. Brio Tuscan Grill, International Plaza, located next to the Renaissance Tampa Hotel, International Plaza. Brio Tuscan Grill, International Plaza Mall. You will discover an Italian menu, signature drinks, and a cozy atmosphere, friendly staff, bringing the pleasures of a Tuscan country villa to Tampa. So we invite you to make your reservation today and try out the lovely Italian menu and enjoy the best Italian restaurant dining experience in Tampa Bay. Consumer Quarterback Show, helping you win in any marketplace. Interesting story. Home sales surged despite inventories. We've got a story here being quoted from the National Association of Realtors. We have our Name That Tune today is going to be from popular hair band anthems from the 80s, and our feel-good story of the week coming up as well. So we're going to help you win no matter what you're facing out there. Consumer Quarterback Show. Brandon Rhymes here. We've got Brad Blanton back in studio, project manager for Suncoast Roofing. So hurricanes come through. It seems like last year, 2 years ago rather, we had the storm that hit the East Coast, kind of went right up the East Coast. So I remember, Chuck, you guys were running over the East Coast a lot. This time, the Gulf Coast got hit. So the roofing side and dealing with the insurance companies, there's some lessons to be learned.
Oh, there's an absolute ton of lessons to be learned, and I can tell you, with all honesty, I've learned a lot of lessons myself. Going into a situation like this, whether it be time management, resource management, things like that, as well as dealing with the insurance companies. When you have a storm of that magnitude that comes into your territory, it's all hands on deck to do almost anything.
Right.
Scheduling, appointments, actually getting to the appointments, and then you're looking for resources to actually do the work that the homeowners need. So there's a lot that goes into it. During a time like this.
Right.
Not to mention, again, like you were saying, dealing with the insurance companies. Our biggest thing is to get to these homeowners, and let's make sure that we can get them taken care of as best we know how.
Yeah, and construction starts are also up, so that complicates it as well. Not only are you taking care of properties that were damaged by storm, you've got the normal renovation business, and then now you've got this added storm related surge as well. No pun intended there, but when you look at that, it's all about allocating the resources and being productive with your time, managing the time.
Well, going back to one of the things you just said on the resource side of things, we had a very strong hurricane hit Texas prior to Irma hitting us.
Yes.
So we saw literally at the tail end of Irma, we saw material prices rising tremendously based on the storm in Texas and then the storm here. Plywood itself, just a single sheet of plywood, went up, I think, $8 in a week.
Wow. What is a sheet of plywood running nowadays?
$20. I mean, depending on the size.
For a sheet of plywood.
That's what it costs. But now it was up into almost the $30 range.
Wow.
Nails were going up $10 a box.
Wow.
Which is, unfortunately, we have to pass that increase on to the homeowner.
Right.
But with storms like that, everything is impacted. The materials, the time management, everything, resources are all running crazy.
Yeah.
It's tough to coordinate all that.
Brad Blanton here, Consumer Quarterback Show. I'm your host, Brandon Rhymes. So let's talk a little bit more specifically about Suncoast Roofing. Master Elite Certified GAF warranties on all of your roofing projects. What does that mean for the customer?
Well, what that means for a customer, and I like to tell everybody that the Master Elite program with GAF, only about 2% of contractors nationwide actually have that distinction. And it's a distinction that is earned. You can't buy it. It's bestowed upon you by the manufacturer. And that allows us to provide you with the Golden Pledge warranty, which is a lifetime warranty on the materials with a 0 rate of proration until year 50. And then a 25-year, no dollar limit workmanship warranty that is not only backed by Suncoast Roofing, but it's also backed by the manufacturer, GAF. If something was to happen with Suncoast, we go out of business, GAF picks up that warranty. Most workmanship warranties in the industry are only as good as long as the roofing company is in business.
Right. Yeah, we've seen that happen. We've had that happen with clients of ours with the real estate business. Companies go out of business, they come and go. There's no insurance. There's no recourse. They're gone. None
at all. I mean, and a lot of times what we refer to in the industry as a side joke is you get that taillight warranty. As long as you can see the taillights, that way it's still good. But once you can't see them, it's gone. And unfortunately, it happens quite a bit.
Yeah, especially with seniors. Let's talk about the seniors. I mean, that's for a minute. They work their whole life. They're in this position now, and then you have some slick talking contractor come in and screw over a senior. That's horrible.
Well, it really reminds me of something that happened to me last week, Brandon. I had an elderly lady down in the Sarasota area. She's actually moving into assisted living. She had leaks coming into her home. And I told her I couldn't find it, but I'll do a water test. And I found out that it wasn't the roof. I very easily told her that, hey, it's going to be $5,000 and not do anything. But I said, hey, you need to go see a window guy. And that's going to fix her problem. So instead of a $5,000 repair for no reason, she's going to end up spending a little less money and getting the problem fixed accurately.
Yeah, that's it. Trusting the person, the contractor, the folks that you invite out to take a look at your property. All right, and so let's talk about this here. Home sales surged despite inventory. So existing home sales ticked up 2% last month, but were still held back by a lack of options on the market. Here's a story out of an economy reporter, usnews.com. So existing home sales soared last month to levels unseen since the summer, but a general lack of available housing options has pushed asking prices and depressed overall real estate activity, according to a report published Tuesday by the National Association of Realtors. Sales spiked 2% in October to a seasonally adjusted annual rate of 5.48 million, which represents the best month for existing home sales since June. The gains were bolstered by a solid 4.2% uptick in the geographic Northeast, while sales out west climbed 2.4%. So those are national numbers, and we talked about on yesterday's show as well. We have the numbers from the Tampa Bay Area Realtors here. So the closed sales in September were down. So I bet a lot of these sales that are closing now are kind of pushing from the storms, when the storms were hit.
I think you're spot on there with the idea of the sales that are coming now. A lot of people stopped. When I was in here, it was 2 or 3 days after the hurricane, and a lot of people stopped everything they were doing, whether it be putting a roof on or selling their home or buying a home.
That's right.
And just that 2 days of storms and the impact that it had on the community, everybody stopped.
Because it was such a media frenzy and sensationalized, approach that they take. And I mean, it starts weeks ahead of time, and then when it's closer, wow, now it's a boom, boom, boom alert. It's popping up, and it's good that we have that early warning system now. But yeah, so you got the week ahead of time, the week after, all in all, you're 2 or 3 weeks without work, and it slows people down.
Well, I'm sure you were doing the same thing prior to the storm. We knew it was coming. We just didn't know if it was going to hit us dead on, or we were just going to catch the sidelines. But we were having strategic planning meetings prior to the storm, just to figure out how to handle it once it does hit, either way, dead on or off the coast or what have you.
Yeah. What were you gathering resources, making sure you had generators, lumber?
One of the big things that we learned from Matthew was we need as many tarps as we can get, and different kinds of tarps for different kinds of roofs, and then, of course, plywood.
Yep.
You couldn't go to Home Depot and get plywood. It just wasn't available.
Yeah.
And sometimes we need to do that, but we had trucks of plywood coming in preparing the week before, because at that time, obviously we were pretty lucky that we didn't have to pay the additional costs on some of that, but those are things that you definitively need days after the storm. You need that right away.
That's right. All right, stay with us here. Consumer Quarterback Show, Brad Blanton in the house, a.k.a. the Tin Man. We got Fred Muth here in studio as well. Tampa Screens and Aluminum, design and sales, and more from our expert contributors. We're going to have Name That Tune coming up, and we have our feel-good story of the week as well. Police officer adopts homeless addict's baby after chance encounter. Stay with us here. Consumer Quarterback Show, ConsumerQB.com. We'll be
Thanks
right
for
back.
listening to my daddy's show. For more information, go to ConsumerQB.com.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-670-7372. Online at ConsumerQB.com.
Enjoy tranquil seclusion in an eco-lover's paradise. Paddling through the mangroves where the only sounds you'll hear are the sounds of nature. Because you deserve to relax on vacation. Visit Pasco County, Florida.
Cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. Online at consumerqb.com.
All right, welcome back. Thanks for sticking with us. Brandon Rhymes here, the Consumer Quarterback Show, owner of Platinum MVP Realty and a top listing agent here in Tampa Bay, helping sellers profit more on the sale of their real estate properties. And we would love to talk to you about listing and selling your property. Brandon Rhymes here, Consumer Quarterback Show. Check out PlatinumMVPRealty.net or PlatinumMVPRealty.com. And got a couple of hot listings I want to let you know about over in Pinellas County. This is 1024 Mandalay Avenue in Clearwater. This is on North Clearwater Beach. Beautiful property, Mandalay subdivision, 2-bedroom, 2-bath, over 1,800 square feet heated, over 2,200 square foot total. $749,000 just reduced down to $749,000. Pavers all the way around, beautiful fenced-in backyard, and you literally walk across the street and you are on the beach, the North Beach of Clearwater. And got another beautiful property in St. Pete Beach here, 3610 Casablanca Avenue, just north of the Don Cesar. This is a rare find. This is a duplex on St. Pete Beach, just south of the Hotel Zamora, and $599,000. Great buying opportunity. A couple of beautiful properties here over by the Gulf of Mexico.
Somewhere, sunny and 75.
Sunny and 75. And here we are in studio helping you win in any marketplace. Let's give a shout out to our official cleaning partner, Two Maids and a Mop here. This cleaning partner of the Consumer Quarterback Show, serving the entire Tampa Bay area. And Two Maids and a Mop is the official cleaning partner of the Consumer Quarterback Show. Excellent service, and a clean house just makes you feel better. It's your environment. You know, it's going to release endorphins. It's going to make you have a more productive day. You're not going to be spending time cleaning your home. Spend more time with your family, more time with your work, whatever you need to do to improve. They also offer free cleaning to cancer patients, and that's a great company there. Two Maids and a Mop, our official cleaning partner of the Consumer Quarterback Show. All right, back here in studio helping you win, Brad Blanton. He's a project manager for Suncoast Roofing, and we also have Fred Muth, a.k.a. the Tin Man, design and sales for Tampa Screens and Aluminum. So, Fred, we always talk about, you know, kind of that in-between space. It's not under air. It's not inside. Can be under air, but not technically. Yeah. But a lot of times it's an addition that you're able to provide homeowners, even business owners maybe, to add on this space. But, you know, between the outside and the inside, Tampa Screens and Aluminum, great company, longtime friend of the program. So, yeah, what are you seeing?
Well, the term, the in-between space, that you coined the phrase, and I use it every day now. Thank you very much.
I like that.
And I never realized how good of a phrase that is, because that's what it is.
Yeah.
You're inside in the air conditioning, you're outside in the sun. Let's go in between and enjoy it. And people in Florida absolutely enjoy their screen enclosures, their patios, their pool enclosures, almost as much as they enjoy their roofs when the water doesn't come in and soak their houses.
Yeah.
But anyway, business is very good. We've got many projects in play, brand new builds coming out of the ground, including whatever storm work that we have. Storm work is not necessarily the work that a lot of contractors look for. Obviously, in our business, a guy like Brad would have to come in first and repair the roof. In the meantime, the cage is hanging, ready to fall in the pool. Insurance company doesn't want to pay to take it down, and nobody wants to walk underneath. And it's my job sometimes to persuade the insurance company that it's not something that I want to walk under, that they should at least pay us to take it down and get started. I had one sit for 6 weeks like that. And
wow.
And if another storm came along, apparently the cage would have come off the house and probably caused another $3,000-4,000 worth of damage to the rafter ends and everything else. But
right.
This is the industry. This is the industry that we're in.
No doubt.
The insurance companies are there, to write the check, but in a lot of cases they're not as reasonable as we'd like them to be. And the poor homeowner in the meantime is in between the contractor, the insurance company, and the loss of use of their pool enclosure, etc. So we could go on and on about this. Let's talk about something positive.
What about some of the tips? Let's do some tips. How can we flip that negative to a positive? What are some of the tips that we've learned over the years with dealing with insurance companies?
Realistically, you have to be very proactive when you have a claim. Take all the photos, take the pictures, make sure that you have documentation of everything, everything that's going to need to be replaced, etc. In some cases, the adjusters cannot get to the site in time, and like I said, that you have dangerous situations where the cages are just hanging by a thread, basically. Right. And so, the adjuster will say to the homeowner, "Well, don't go in that area until I get out there." And if it's 5 to 6 weeks, it's a long time. Children could accidentally walk in underneath, and the thing could come down, and that concerns me.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure why the insurance companies don't see that as a potential threat to their industry, because now a $8,500 claim could be a $85,000 claim, basically.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right.
But I'm not here to pick on the insurance companies. I just would like them to be a little bit more reasonable.
Yeah.
But obviously they have protocol to follow as well. And that's what gets in the way, because they're homeowners and they would like to be treated the way, we would like them to be treated. But protocol says they have to do this and go up the ladder with it.
Yeah.
Not much you can do about it.
Budgets and, yearly budgets, I guess, kind of play into that. And plus,
absolutely.
The way that they're worded as well, the way that a lot of the lingo can be interpreted.
Oh yeah, I mean, how many attorneys could find different interpretations? You get 5 attorneys, you have 5 different interpretations of how it's written.
Right. What about on the roofing side, Brad? When we were talked about earlier with the insurance companies, what are some things you're seeing? What's worked?
I guess not necessarily what's worked or what hasn't worked. It's just some of the common mistakes that are made.
Right.
There's different types of shingles, on roofs today, and we use an architectural style shingle with 130 mile an hour wind rating, where you have some of these lower end shingles that are 3-tab with a 60 mile an hour wind rating. Well, when an insurance adjuster comes out, he has to realize what's on that roof, whether it's a 3-tab or an architectural. We've seen insurance claims come back lower than what they should be because the adjuster himself couldn't differentiate between the type of shingle. So. There's common mistakes that those adjusters make, whether it needs, drip edge or it doesn't, which in Florida it does. But some of these adjusters are coming from out of state and they really don't know what's going on, or they don't know the local codes.
Yeah, it's important too, the way that when you have those certain types of, like you mentioned, drip edge, to keep the water from returning back into the underlayment.
Absolutely. Some states, other than Florida, it's not a requirement to have drip edge. But Florida, that it is. So you get some of these adjusters that are coming in from Texas and other places, and they're putting down their estimate of what it's going to cost to replace the home, but it doesn't necessarily adhere to Florida code.
Right.
So that's where we come in to make sure that that's being done properly, so that the homeowner's being made whole again.
Right.
Based on their need for a new roof, as well as suiting building codes.
What about real estate side? Let's talk a little bit about the real estate space. There's so many. Sometimes I have a homeowner, for example, I'm going to be listing their property. Maybe it's an expired listing, or maybe it's a for sale by owner. And I go in and I talk to the homeowner, and we go through the whole listing appointment. I'm explaining to them the marketing side, what we're going to do. And there seems like they're so gun shy about the inspectors coming in and finding that their roof that may be 15 years old may not pass. What are you seeing in those spaces? Are you coming in and are you seeing some of those inspections as well? Are you getting second opinions on those?
Brandon, I see those almost weekly. It's almost weekly. I'll get a text message, a phone call from a real estate agent saying, hey, I've got either a buyer or a seller that this home needs a new roof. Obviously, your seller is, they're really worried about that because they want to make sure that they're, hey, it may need a new roof, it may not. Let's let the inspector figure it out. Or, again, like you were saying, they're scared to come in because they're scared it's not going to pass. Well, if it doesn't pass, regardless of who the buyer or seller is or what they think, it's going to have to be replaced at some point in time. And that goes to, and I'm sure you've done it before too, is you get to talk to the selling agent or the buying agent, whichever one's opposed to you, and say, hey, how are we going to address this?
That's right. All right, more from our expert contributors, Brad Blanton here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, Fred Muth, a.k.a. the Tin Man, and Tampa Screens and Aluminum, Suncoast Roofing be represented today on the Consumer Quarterback Show. So stay with us here. When we come back, more from our expert contributors. We've got our Name That Tune songs, going to have some fun, popular hair band anthems on the Consumer Quarterback Show, and we have our Feel Good Story of the Week as well, and our Tell Me Something Good segment. Stay with us. Consumer Quarterback Show, ConsumerQB.com.
Hey, this is Jarek Robbins. You are listening to the Consumer Quarterback Show with Brandon Rhymes. Please do what it takes to learn all that you have to live the life you want to live it fully, and find a way to give it by paying it forward to others.
Get in touch with Brandon online at ConsumerQB.com. Listening to the Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, online at ConsumerQB.com. Brandon is Tampa Bay's #1 consumer advocate for real estate and financial advice. Call Brandon today at 813-670-7372.
All right, welcome back. Thanks for sticking with us. Brandon Rhymes here. I'm your host, the Consumer Quarterback Show. I'm also the owner of Platinum MVP Realty, and we are going to help you win in any marketplace. That is the goal of our show. We've got 80-plus show partners, CPAs, financial advisors, attorneys, so many ways that we can help you win no matter what you're facing out there, but we would love to have you save our hotline number in your phone at some point. You're going to need it, 813-670-7372. Don't forget our number. Bookmark our website, ConsumerQB.com, ConsumerQB.com. QB.com. You can see links to all of our expert contributors on the Consumer Quarterback Show. And in studio today, Brad Blanton. He's project manager with Suncoast Roofing. And Ken, the Tin Man, Fred Muth, a.k.a. the Tin Man here, Tampa Screens and Aluminum, in the studio as well. A couple of hot listings I want to let you know about. We got a beautiful property up in Arbor Green subdivision in New Tampa area. It's 10217 Timberland Point Drive in Arbor Green, gated community, beautiful pools, fitness rooms, all types of tennis available at this community. $329,000, great buying opportunity in Arbor Green. 4-bedroom, 3-bath property, over 3,900 total square foot, and square foot heated is 2,750. Great buying opportunity here in Tampa. Also, St. Petersburg, Old Northeast section of St. Petersburg, 215 12th Avenue Northeast. This is 4 bedrooms, 5-bath, pre-construction property, $1.19 million here, 3,688 square feet. Great buying opportunity, and an opportunity to choose your colors, your countertops, your cabinets, your appliances, your flooring once in escrow. Great opportunity. PlatinumMVPRealty.com. Check out PlatinumMVPRealty.com. And we're giving a shout out to Signature Massage and Facial Spa in Tampa. Are you looking for a place to get a massage or a facial at an affordable price but without having to sign up for membership? Look no further at Signature Massage and Facial Spa. They offer a 1-hour Swedish massage for $49.95. Always no contracts. Come in early during the early bird hours and receive an additional $10 off for those muscles and knots that need extra work. Ask about getting a deep tissue or sports massage. And if skincare is what you're looking for, they have amazing facial and microderm packages. Check out Signature Massage and Facial Spa, 11248 West Hillsborough Avenue in Tampa, or call 813-925-8898, 925-8898. Also, holiday special right here, 3 Swedish massages, 1-hour Swedish massages for $99.95. 3 massages for $99.95. That's like $33 a piece with my short, quick math there. So, all right, here we are in the studio helping you win. Brad Blanton, project manager, and Fred Muth, the Tin Man, Tampa Screens and Aluminum. So we're talking about tips, ideas around this time of year. Folks are they're going to be out there hanging lights and getting out there. So any holiday tips, things that not to do. I mean, when you're fixing these things to your structure, you got to be careful with that, right?
Fred, do you want this one?
Not really. Yeah, just don't hang lights from your cage. Thank you.
Don't do it.
Don't do it. Don't do it. Not good.
I'm going to be the first to tell anybody, look, if you don't feel comfortable getting on your roof, don't do it.
Yeah.
You don't know how many stories I hear of people getting on the roof, and then the hard part's not getting on. For most people, the hard part's getting off.
Getting down.
And they struggle, and that's when accidents happen.
When you go up the ladder, Fred, what's the saying there?
Never come down the way you went up, head first.
That's right. You don't want to come down that way. That is not the right way to do it. So just a little holiday, tips there. But when we're looking at the real estate space, we talk about the labor force being short. We talk about the construction cost being up. Have those costs come down at all?
Not that I've seen. When it comes to our pricing on replacements, repairs, we're still feeling the pains of those increased costs from the storm.
Yeah. Same with you, Fred?
Yeah, it's, I want this, I'm a happier guy when the prices stabilize.
Right.
What I bid 4 or 5 weeks ago, I typically may not be able to honor next week. Because I'm not sure where it's going to be, because it's up and down like an elevator. I believe they're going to stabilize in a few months. I believe so.
Yep.
But I don't say that to my clients, customers, so that they hold off, to build the cage 3-4 months from now, or 2-3 months, because the prices may go the other direction.
Right. So let's talk a little bit here also, Brad. Let's talk about, there's different options for roofs. So you've got the shingles, you've got the actual metal roof, and then you've got the ceramic tile. Is it tile roof? So let's do like a pros and cons. So let's start with the tile first. I think, aren't they the most expensive?
Tile and metal, they're very comparable depending on the styles.
Mm-hmm.
But pros and cons on each roof. Tile, the biggest pro is going to be aesthetics.
Mm-hmm.
We know that. We see that. The roofs that you see on these homes down in the water or wherever you see them, it really adds a great profile.
Mm-hmm.
Now on the con side of that, it is a pricey roof.
Mm-hmm.
You have clay and you have ceramic, tiles that are utilized. The cost on that, the material is pretty significant.
And they break too. They can break when people are getting up there to clean them or just to do an inspection. Now, when they break, do they have to be fixed immediately, or is it okay if water gets underneath because it's still got the black? What's the black paper?
Well, what we utilize is a high temperature, fully adhered peel and stick underlayment today.
Okay.
In today's installations, it's not as common back 10 years ago or 15 years ago. So we're utilizing that today, and some of these, most of these tile roof systems are designed to have some water run underneath them. So a cracked tile is not something that needs immediate attention, but it's going to need some attention, sooner rather than later.
So there's the tile roof. What about metal?
Metal's a great roof. You have two basic designs on metal. You have an exposed fastener. You have a concealed fastener.
Mm-hmm.
And those two differences are exactly what they are. You can see the screws or where you can't. Your 1-inch standing seam is your most common metal roof, and you're going to see some energy efficiencies with these metal roofs because you have what's called a rate of emesticity, and that rate is the rate in which a material releases heat, and metal releases it rather quickly.
Yeah, and it's going to reflect a lot more, I believe, right?
Absolutely. It's like your car. If you park your car in the sun, you go touch it, it's going to be hot. You park it in the shade, 10 minutes later, it's cool. It's the same thing that happens on your home, and that heat stops transmitting into the home after the sun goes down.
So a metal roof, of course, they say it sounds great. When the storms or the rain hits it, that's one of the pros. Cost-wise, is it kind of in the middle? You said.
Cost-wise, depending on where you live, things like that, because some places, if you want a warranty and you live on the water, salt water, you're going to have to go with aluminum, and that gets pretty pricey. I'm sure Fred could tell you, he could understand that. But you can get some systems that are in between that shingle and tile cost, where you can still see those energy efficiency savings.
Okay. All right. So lastly, shingles.
Shingle, in my mind, is probably the best way to go for most homeowners, simply for the fact that you get an amazing warranty, you get an amazing wind rating, and if you ventilate the roof properly and ventilate your attic, you're still going to reduce some of those energy costs. Not as much as you're going to see on metal, but it's going to be the most proficient system that you put on a home.
Yep. Okay, so Fred, over to you. When we look at your structures, you've obviously using aluminum for most of your structures.
Everything that we use is aluminum. Yes.
Yep.
Yes, everything's aluminum. Everything's fastened mechanically. The span will determine the size of the beam. When I first got into the business back in '92, a 28-foot span, it was a 2x6 beam. Now a 28-foot span is typically a 2x9 heavy wall. So it's significantly different. And of course, the bigger the beam, the bigger the upright. Back then in '92, the uprights were 2x3 and 2x4. Today's world, they're 2x5, 2x6, 2x4 in some cases. Everything's upgraded, very beefy. And I believe the wind load in this area is somewhere between 135 and 145 now. At one time, it was 110.
Wow. So
the engineering has changed specifically on these cages.
And you also, when you have the roof system that you have with the screen buildings, the aluminum patios, porches, do they have a insulation, like added insulation?
The insulated composite roof panel for the patio rooms, for the covered areas, not screen roofs, is the most common product today. I believe the original company that manufactured that was a company named Structall, and they were based right out of Oldsmar.
Really?
1984, they began that in the engineering of that product, and that company is still out there, Structall. 90% of our installations, we use the Structall composite roof panel. It is as close to flawless as you're going to get in this industry. I've got it at home. I've got a huge, of course, being in the business, I've got a huge 58 by 15 room on the back. It's all Structall.
Nice.
It's nice. And you can walk on it. You can put two people up there, and it's just beautiful. When the rain hits it, it's fairly quiet. It has a nice finish underneath, and the same finish underneath is the same as the top. It's a 3-inch foam core. Mine is a 3-inch foam core, and it has aluminum skin top and bottom. Depending on the span, you can exceed the 3-inch. You can go to a 4-inch, 5-inch, or 6-inch. And of course, there's denser foam, and then there's heavier gauge aluminum top and bottom, all determined by the span. So typically a 15-foot span, you can do a 3-inch foam core with an 030 gauge aluminum top and bottom, which is what I have. And again, you can put 2 to 3 people on top of that thing and walk around and have no problems whatsoever.
And it just adds so much value to your property when you do that, when you add those screen rooms on. If you just joined us, I'm your host, Brandon Rhymes. We've got Brad Blanton, in studio project manager of Suncoast Roofing, and Fred Muth, the Tin Man in studio design and sales for Tampa Screens and Aluminum. And then also on the insides, we've talked in the past where people are customizing them. They're adding on ceiling fans. Tell us about some of their success stories.
Well, it's funny, when I design the room, I don't typically see the interior of the room. I see the exterior of the room. And I'll meet with Mr. Smith and Mrs. Smith. And Mr. Smith and we see the exterior. Mrs. Smith sees the interior.
Right.
It's the way it is, And I'll come back in some cases months later after the room's built for whatever reason, and I see this entire interior of this room like I would have never designed it, and it's beautiful, and it's the female eye that really makes the change on the inside, and some of them are just amazing. You can become very creative. I'll go into a room and there's the pool table, there's the TV, bingo, they got all this, and then of course there's the other side of the room where the kitchen is, etc. And I've got one in progress right now where we're doing everything but the kitchen, and the homeowner is turning into the GC for the kitchen, and that homeowner is doing a very good job. Tremendous learning experience. The homeowner's making sure that all the plumbing and electric goes in before we pour the slab. And knock on wood, that slab should go in Thursday, providing that the inspections are done. So I mean, this is the interesting part of our business.
Yeah.
Because I'll go back and I'll see that room, after it's built, etc. After the kitchen goes in, and I'll be inspired, and I'll take pictures, and it'll go into my photo gallery of pictures.
Yeah.
Because I didn't expect to see this room with the kitchen. That's not the way I sold it. That's the way the homeowner wants it.
Wow, that's cool.
Very
yes,
nice.
You can add kitchens. In the past, we've talked about how they have some indoor, basically like gardens, just beautiful gardens with waterfalls.
I like to build a cage without a pool. I'm inspired by that, and within the cage itself, I'll do a design of some type of pavers, etc. And then there'll be 2 or 3 planter areas with large trees and bushes. That's interesting.
Yeah, very cool. Mm-hmm. All right, stay with us here. When we come back, we're going to jump into our Name That Tune, popular hair band anthems coming up here. And also, police officer adopts homeless addict's baby after chance encounter on our Tell Me Something Good segment here, the Consumer Quarterback Show. We'll be right back after this short break. Stay with us.
This is Warwick Dunn, and you're listening to the Real Estate Quarterback Show hosted by my man, Brandon Rhymes.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-670-7372. Online at consumerqb.com. Listening to The Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, online at consumerqb.com. Brandon is Tampa Bay's #1 consumer advocate for real estate and financial advice. Call Brandon today at 813-670-7372.
All right, welcome back. Thanks for sticking with us. Brandon Rhymes here, The Consumer Quarterback Show. Platinum MVP Realty and a top listing agent here in Tampa Bay. Former USF football player, played on the inaugural football team at USF. Longtime quarterback on our sports teams. Now we're quarterbacking transactions for our sellers, our buyers, our investors out there. We're quarterbacking introductions to our 60 to 80 plus show partners here, where we're bringing together the best in Tampa Bay: CPAs, financial advisors, home services, investment experts. So many ways that we can help you, but you've got to engage with us. ConsumerQB.com, ConsumerQB.com. And here in studio with me today, Brad Blanton. He's a project manager with Suncoast Roofing. We've got Fred Muth, a.k.a. the Tin Man, here in the house as well, ConsumerQB.com. We want to jump into our Name That Tune, but I need my board here set up. Name That Tune. We got the Name That Tune today is our popular hair band anthems. And let's have some fun with you. We're going to name that tune.
Ladies and gentlemen, name that tune.
All right, here we go. Hair bands from the 80s. All right, these are songs from the 80s. All right, here we go. Song number 1, Name That Tune.
This is all you, Fred.
You got it, Brad.
White Snake.
Gotta be White Snake, yeah.
What's the name of the song?
Here I go again.
There you go. You got it.
Oh, what was her name on the car? That's what I remember.
The video?
Yeah, Tawny something, yeah.
Yeah, that was a good video.
Oh, yeah.
That was back when MTV actually played music, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, right.
And you run home to watch that video because you knew it was going to come on at least once an hour.
All right, here's a good one.
Ozzy Osbourne. Let's get it. Is he still alive? I think he is.
Maybe. Yeah, see,
That was
He's actually going back out to another set of tour dates this year.
Yeah, that was
Ozzy is?
that was Randy Rhoads, the
Yes.
guitar player. He replaced Tony Iommi from the original band. And Randy didn't last long. They had an airplane accident in Florida.
Oh, man.
Yeah, Randy Rhoads was phenomenal.
He
Young
was
guy,
good.
fingers like you can't imagine, drug-free, clean-living guy.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah.
Crazy Train, 1980.
I don't know if you can say the same for Ozzy, though.
Clean as a whistle.
All right, song number 3.
Molly Crew.
Good time. Are you sure about that? It's saying
Hold on.
Poison.
It is Poison. Well, they're all the same to me.
Yeah.
I didn't really listen to a lot of that
They
stuff,
blend
but
together.
Yeah, they all look the same.
All those 80s songs. Yeah, they do look the song. They all have the long hair. All right.
Their hair was long back in the 80s,
Yep.
yeah.
Here we go.
I've got to leave it. Time on the job. Here I am. Rock you like a
Is that quite right?
Scorpions. 1984. Rock
Yeah.
You Like a Hurricane. They play those at the UM games.
We played that the last time I was in here talking about hurricane songs.
Did we really?
Yep, we did.
That's funny. All right, final song in our Name That Tune popular hair band anthems.
Bon Jovi.
That's right.
Attaboy. Living on a prayer.
Yeah. I wonder what kind of royalties they make on those songs like
he's
that.
He's still around, He's still doing it.
I mean, that song's popular still. People, it's still getting plays. What kind of royalties do they make? When they sign their deals.
I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it's got to
money.
be something, but I'm guessing it's probably pennies on the play. I would guess. I don't know what that goes for.
But it's played every day 1,000 times.
How do they quantitate that? I really don't know. I guess it's in a movie, in a featured movie too, or some type of a show. Because if it's played on air, they want that, don't they? They want to have their name out there.
Oh, yeah.
That's correct.
I'm not sure how that works.
Maybe we need a consumer quarterback song, and we can just all collaborate.
We should do that. Yeah.
See if we can get some pennies on the dollar.
There we go.
Nickels on the dollar.
Yeah,
that's what the Tin Man would want.
Well, we got the book coming up next year too. We need a chapter from you guys on the Consumer Quarterbacks Playbook. So we're writing our book. Each one of our expert contributors are going to submit a chapter, and then we are going to have a consumer advocate playbook. This way, the client can pick it up. Hey, I'm thinking about putting on a aluminum patio. Boom, Fred Muth wrote a chapter about it. Same thing, Brad. That's the idea of the Consumer Quarterback Show. Everybody contributing their best knowledge to help the consumers understand how to live a better life.
Well, as we I'm sure Fred will agree. Consumer education is our goal.
Right.
in everything that we do. So that's a great idea.
Yep. We're doing it. We're going to have that out in February. All right, here we go. We're going to jump into our positivity. We're going to spread some positivity.
Tell me something good.
All right, so we got a police officer adopts homeless addict's baby after chance encounter. So Albuquerque police officer Ryan Hottles has adopted a baby from a homeless heroin addict. So on the 28th of September, he responded to a possible theft at a nearby convenience store. As he left the store, he noticed out of the corner of his eye a couple sitting in the grass. A man and a woman were shooting up heroin in broad daylight. Then he noticed that the woman was pregnant. "You're going to kill your baby," Hotel said, saying in a body cam on footage. "Why do you have to be doing that stuff? It's going to ruin your baby." In the video, it shows it, and he says he made the call not to charge the couple with drug possession, but he couldn't shake the voice in his mind telling him that this was his chance to help and truly make a difference. Huddles, who's married with 4 children, decided in that moment to adopt the baby. "I was led by God to take a chance," he said. "God brought us all together, and I really don't have any other way to explain it." They named the baby Hope. So
that's awesome.
Chance encounter. That's pretty crazy, man. Wow.
What the sad part is, you don't see those type of stories in mainstream media anymore. You don't see that. If it's not blood and gore, you don't see it. Or somebody lying or whatever. But the good stuff, it's up to us to share.
That's right. All right, let's do our lightning round.
The lightning round!
I am so good at lightning rounds.
I majored in lightning round.
Top tips, nuggets of advice, parting words of wisdom. Brad Blanton, Suncoast Roofing.
Well, first and foremost, Brandon, thanks again for having us on. I guess the advice that I would give to any homeowners, if you're experiencing roofing issues or you need to replace your roof, let's get proactive on everything and let's get moving forward. Give us a call at Suncoast Roofing. We'll send out one of our qualified project managers, even myself, to come take a look at what you've got going on and give you the best possible remedy for what you need.
Perfect. Good stuff. Fred Muth, the Tin Man, Tampa Screens and Aluminum.
I always suggest if you're going to bid out a project, make sure that you ask a lot of questions to the representative.
Yes.
And be apprehensive if they're not willing to answer the questions. We welcome the questions at Tampa Screens and Aluminum. The best questions that are asked are the questions that are asked before the project is built. I had a fellow the other day, and a very simple job. He asked me 5 or 6 questions more than once, and I looked at him, and he looked at me, and he said, "Is something wrong?" I patted him on the back. I said, "I wish I had more customers like you."
Yeah.
I said, "We covered everything. There will be no surprises on the back end."
That's right.
And that's, as a homeowner myself, nobody wants surprises on the back end.
Yeah.
We just had a few, and I probably was instrumental in creating the surprises, being in the construction business, but we did some bathrooms and kitchen.
Yep.
Oh boy. Surprise, surprise, surprise. But everything worked out.
Yeah, and those surprises lead to change orders, which can be costly.
Change orders. Write a check.
That's right. That's right. So,
or just give me a blank one.
Yeah, there you go. All right, I want to thank our expert contributors today. Brad Blanton, he's a project manager with Suncoast Roofing. Fred Muth, a.k.a. the Tin Man, design and sales for Tampa Screens and Aluminum. And I want to thank our expert contributors, our listeners out there, viewers of our TV show on WeBeam TV, 10 a.m. daily. Of course, we're 5 o'clock drive time, 1380 The Biz, right here on AM 1380 The Biz, your number one consumer advocate. And please go out there and consider committing a random act of kindness. Pack up some food, hand it to that person that you see in need. Be a force for good in the community, and continue to tune into our show here, the Consumer Quarterback Show. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter at Brandon Rhymes 1, Facebook.com/Brandon Rhymes PA, and the Consumer Quarterback Show as well, the same handles. We'll see you next time.
You've been listening to the Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes. Whether it's real estate, consumer, or financial advice, let Brandon call your next play. Contact Brandon Rhymes at 813-670-7372. That's 813-670-7372. Online at consumerqb.com. And join us next time for the Consumer Quarterback Show, weekday afternoons at 5 on AM 1380. The Biz.